says he understands.
Yeah, it's sad.
Now, the culmination of this was that
Yeah, he was, trying to support us and understand.
After many warnings by the police saying that this was an unlawful assembly, that people needed to disperse, police did resort eventually to using some tear gas, and we were right there in the thick of it, and it was not fun. It was not good at all. It was very difficult to breathe. It was very distressing. Everybody was running, including us. Thankfully, there were people who were quick to reach out to us and give us some water as we tried to recover ourselves.
Yeah, we all be safe out there.
Get our breath back. My breath back. I was really having a lot of trouble breathing, and we were able to do that. Thankfully, here you can see they're getting ready. That flag, they're getting ready to move. Another one of the Santa Monica police vehicles that was damaged. Santa Monica called in.
It's really getting wild out there.
Aid here, as well as many other departments. We saw Culver City Police. We saw UCLA Police. Really a united effort here as they tried to keep the peace. Here, guys, back to you.
All right, Lori, glad to hear that you're doing okay after being tear gassed.
Santa Monica needs that help, huh?
Okay now?
Well, I done got everywhere.
I'm a little rattled. I mentioned before, I've been doing this a long time, and I have been tear gassed before. I've been pepper sprayed before. To me, this was the worst. It might have been perhaps because we were the closest to it. But, the thing people need to know is when you're tear gassed, everything starts
it's really getting
pouring
bad out there.
Out of your eyes, out of your nose.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant experience.
It is very difficult to breathe, and so that can cause some panic. Because it's such an uncomfortable sensation. Luckily,
it's really getting bad in Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, everywhere.
And my great photographer also.
Santa Monica had to call for mutual aid to help them out. Well, the laws agency, Culver City.
Okay now, so it's rough, but unfortunately sometimes.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
All right, Lori, glad to hear that you're
tearing up everything.
Well now. We appreciate your reporting. We just want to welcome our viewers to a special edition of KCAL 9
people are boarding up their business, trying to support us as black people because they understand, but you want to tear up their business.
Extended breaking news coverage of a night of both protests and
unrest
in the city of Los Angeles.
Crazy.
Several other cities across our country. Major events unfolding this evening. My name is Sarah Donchi. I'm joined here by
really getting out of hand, yeah.
We're just going to go through some of the headlines.
It's really getting out of hand.
The latest that's been happening in the city of LA.
It's very unfortunate that it's going down like this, and I don't know what to tell y'all. None of these so-called black leaders. All these so-called black leaders we have.
Some of the protests that's going on right there, that first shot, there was thousands of people out there. There were families out there protesting the death of George Floyd. He was killed in Minneapolis. There is a police officer who was charged in this man's murder. And as Sarah mentioned, this is one of many protests happening all across the country. The latest one today started in the Fairfax district.
Santa Monica, yeah.
There, it's one of those situations where we saw images like
this. We saw several cop cars. Total chaos, out of control. It's they're damaging police cars and.
On Rodeo Drive, you can see people storming that store on Alexander McQueen and then coming out with a whole bunch of items. This is just one of many shots throughout the night of what's
y'all risking going to jail for
Mayor Eric Garcetti actually had a
little bit of stuff.
Talking a little bit about what's going on. That's when they issued
tragic, man.
Curfew. It originally started out as a curfew for downtown Los Angeles. Then West Hollywood had that curfew.
Sad.
And then as the night
very unfortunate that it's going down like that.
Pasadena as well, Culver City, curfew in effect until 5:30 in the morning. And we've been talking to different.
Sad that it's going down.
Pat Harvey was here. Something like this did not happen since 1992. So watching these images
since the riots.
Heartbreaking, and we're getting outside help as well, is what the mayor said.
Yeah, so Mayor mentioned that the National Guard has been deployed. 500 members of the National Guard heading now to Los Angeles. They could be here as soon as sometime overnight, sometime in the evening. The city of Los Angeles has deployed its entire police force. Chief Michael Moore is telling us that has not happened since the mid-90s, the earthquakes of 1994 and 1995. In his words, that was the last time something like this has happened. In spite of that, obviously, a major series of incidents happening now.
Crazy.
The city was previously on a tactical alert. They have put out an advisory saying we've received more than 4,000 911 calls since 2 o'clock this afternoon. They did want to let the public know that if you do have to call 911, they're asking you only call for emergencies, not to ask questions or make comments about what is going on. Obviously, they're sending out a modified dispatch system, so officers obviously have their hands full in different parts of the city, so their response to other areas is limited at this time because of what is happening and because of the ongoing unrest in the city of Los Angeles. Chris, we've also noticed some instances of looting in the Pico and the Brea area in Mid-City, in Beverly Hills, in the Fairfax district, and a series of fires that were set.
Yeah, and one of the things that we've been talking about, Sarah, is, you know, I've said this all night. It's hard to believe
it's crazy how it's going down.
By watching, you know, the video and these scenes just play out throughout the night. But it's actually affected testing sites. The mayor actually shut down all coronavirus testing sites due to public safety concerns. And, you know, now they have other concerns that they're issued about. That's part of the reason why they had a curfew. But as the night went on, you know, the crowds are getting smaller and smaller, but there's still chaos. And we actually have Christopher Ardo live at the ground.
Yeah, I forgot about those sites. Got to worry about those people working those testing sites.
Well, it is still smoldering. You can see the smoke there behind you. By the way, this is at Melrose and Carson. And you'll notice the LAPD has stretched across the street here, protecting the firefighters as they fight that fire. We're told that there are
crazy how you got to protect the firefighters.
businesses in there. It's not clear which one set on fire. We're told it's a shoe store.
Burning it down.
But we have some aerial video that we want to show you of that fire, just to show you how big it was at one point.
Look at that, man.
There's a very big firefighter response here. We see them on ladder trucks. They're using hoses, trying to douse those businesses and get those flames out. But if we come back up live, I want to show you some of the other damage that the protesters left behind. You'll notice the American Vintage store over there. Several of the windows are broken already. Crews have come in and they're boarding it up to keep, I guess, what's left of it safe. But if you walk in there, I want to show you this store right here.
They're making more and more people go out of business.
We talked to the owner. He came to check out the damage. He tells us he had a feeling this might happen. So he actually cleared out all of his merchandise this morning. And the reason he had that feeling is because he has a store in downtown LA that he says was burglarized and looted last night. He did not want a repeat. Now, we did ask him his thoughts on seeing this. He says he does not blame the protesters. He says he understands their frustration, and he believes they just don't really understand the harm that they might be doing. But,
one guy said he has two stores, so he cleaned it out. They looted the other store.
They're going to board up that window as well. Another business over here was also broken into. This is a pet salon. You can see some of the merchandise that was pulled out as looters went through the window here. And over here, quite a bit of graffiti. So a lot of damage left behind as the protesters came through here. And the police have also set up another line here, protecting basically this whole block. Right now it is empty. No one is here, but we are occasionally hearing fireworks there in the distance.
Getting out of hand.
There are still protesters down the street, so it could be a very long night.
Y'all be safe, man. Do what you gotta do to protect each other.
Christy, thank you so much. I do want to mention to our viewers who are watching this extended coverage of unrest happening in Los Angeles,
gotta do right, gotta do better.
Also happening in Orange County as well. We're hearing from some of our
gotta do better, everybody.
journalists down there that Santa Ana police have called
gotta make it right with God.
Checkmate for the protest that's happening in Santa Ana. They're requesting assistance from surrounding Orange County law enforcement agencies. There have been hundreds of protesters in the Santa Ana area
terrible thing.
as well. In addition to what we've been showing you on our air, protests followed by
total chaos
and violence in the Fairfax district,
total chaos.
Beverly Hills, Mid-City, and other parts of Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's really hard just to watch these images. Right now, it appears our photographers
Los Angeles and surrounding cities have been destroyed, burned down.
In the Fairfax district, and you know, a lot of people are talking about these are all chain stores that were broken into, but some of these are mom and pop shops. These are people. This is their livelihood. This is what they've worked their butt off, and then you know they see a situation like this, and you know you really just feel for these people as well. And you know, as Christian mentioned, it's going to be a long night. Sarah said it goes all the way to Orange County. We were with
even in Orange County. Wow.
I don't know if you had a chance to watch the news last night or see some of the coverage, but last night
It's amazing. Yeah. Downtown over there, they all the people got arrested and everything. It's just wow.
Several people were taken into custody for what was going on today.
They don't know no better.
We're not sure how many people
they don't know any better.
have been arrested so far.
Right, obviously a lot happening in terms
tearing up everything because they think it's the right thing to do.
They're asking people to go home and to stay home. Our reporter Jeff Nguyen is on the ground in the Fairfax district where he has been for much of the evening. Jeff, I know you've seen some arrests being made. It certainly looks like it's a lot calmer than some of your earlier live shots. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing now on the
Thinking
ground.
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, you know, to be fair, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Calmer just because of geography, not so calm up north where Melrose and
different parts of the city in LA is burning down. All these problems, people tearing it up.
Show you the extent of what's going on here. This is a business that is completely shattered, and as we walk down the street after all of this destruction, it's basically just everywhere here on Fairfax. You can see clothing littered on the ground as people were, you know, looting and running down the street and ditching everything that you see there. Across the street are a number of the people who are arrested, and they are
major thing.
You know, I spoke to a business owner here on this street who told me that he is an immigrant. And there are a lot of business owners on the street who are immigrants as well. And so when you talk about caring for the disparities of our society and caring for the little guy,
a lot of people come from other countries. They have a business, have a better life.
I mean, that business
it's sad.
Where the front door
Sad.
blown away and it's completely tagged up. Greg, let's panel with that. I apologize for some of the profanity on the wall. It took a couple of seconds for my eyes to adjust to the bright light, so please excuse us for doing that. But you can see some of the people who are sitting out here, and you know the business owners
had to call in more reinforcements from different police agencies across the city.
For months now because of COVID-19. A number of them had told us the plan was to reopen next Saturday, and they clearly cannot do that right now when you've got your inventory littered on the ground over here, when you've got all of this stuff.
It's rough out there. It's real rough out there.
Say that, you know, they wish they can call their friends to come and help them out.
Subscribe to my channel.